Hey everyone, it's Mr. Silbaugh here, and this is my lesson for Digital Citizenship, Day 4. So over the past few days in our Digital Citizenship unit, we've been talking about some of the important topics of digital citizenship, like what is it, creating strong passwords, um, and things of that nature. But today's lesson, I think, is one of the most important because it can impact us in a lot of ways. Our identity and how we present ourselves online. We touched a little bit about this on Tuesday, but we're going to go more in depth in it today. All of the stuff that we post online, it stays there. Even if we take it down, people can still take screenshots of it. It can show up somewhere else. Like, there's a lot of ways that your post that you make can come back and haunt you later. Google makes archives of their websites and their web searches so that they have access to them at a later time. Anything posted on the internet is forever. Just because you think you take it down doesn't mean it may not show up again later. It may not be searchable, but it's still there and someone can still find it. So that's why we emphasize don't post negative things online, don't be rude or mean online, because honestly, that stuff can come back and haunt you later when you go for a job or you are employed somewhere, and that all can be dug up. So, one of the things that I like to say is the deep web. And the surface web and the dark web. This graphic that I use is really useful to show how expansive the web and the internet is. At the surface, we have your websites. These are the websites you access on a daily basis. These are websites that you go to and you just get quick information and you don't necessarily log in. However, once you start going a little bit deeper below the surface, you start getting into records and documents of things that people don't need access to and things that are password specific. And you start going into what things that require passwords and have firewalls to protect against people from stealing the information found in there. And then at the very bottom, we have what's called the dark web. This is the scary side of the web, and this would be all of your illegal activities and things that don't want to be found. Best to stay away from this part of the web. But again, most of the stuff that you access is right at the top. And if you notice here, 96% of the content on the web is stuff that you may not even see. And that's kind of a bit of a shock if you think about it, that you're only touching the very surface of the internet. So, one of the topics that I talk about is your digital footprint. Your digital footprint is the identity and information you access and leave behind. If you go on a website and you put in your username and password, you have made your mark on that website. If you have a site and have an account, you're making a digital footprint. Sometimes you know about your digital footprint, and other times not so much. So you need to be really careful about what sites you access and what sites you log into, especially because if you do access a website that you no longer use, that account's still up there. It's still there in some shape or form. So it's important to know which websites you access and where you post things at, because they can always come back to you and they can always be traced back to you at a later date. So think about it. For your activity today that I've posted, you need to think about what some of the websites you've made usernames and passwords for, because you're going to make your own virtual digital footprint in a form. What are some websites you once accessed but no longer go on? And that's important too, because those are still there. And what are some websites that even the school created a login for you, like Clever, PowerSchool, um, iReady? Those are all websites that all have passwords and usernames created for you, and that's part of your digital identity. All right, so take a few minutes to think about what websites you've accessed or websites that you have created usernames for, because you're going to tell me in just a bit.